So please give your listening and your time to our first team and all 9. I introduce Prospective Research.
Language is the most powerful human tool. In the right circumstances, language can control the behavior of an organism. So with that in mind, our company sought out to develop a way to communicate with one of the most valuable natural resources on planet Earth: dirt. We are the microbe whisperers. The microorganisms that live in the soil right beneath your feet produce 70% of the world's antibiotics. That bag of dirt is now in the Smithsonian Museum because in it, terramycin was discovered. This antibiotic went on to save numerous lives and made the company that discovered it lots of money. And what's more, it was discovered in a cow field in 1949, right outside the laboratory in which it was processed. Companies hitting pay dirt in their backyard was a common occurrence during the golden age of antibiotic discovery. But that is no longer the case, and that has left us here. The world is now running out of antibiotics. This year, 17 million people will die due to infectious disease, and that number is going nowhere but up. To make matters worse, antibiotic resistance is on the rise, yet the number of new antibiotics entering the market year after year has been declining for decades. So why is this? Because this has been the business model that pharmaceutical companies have held onto for decades. They've been looking for a needle in a haystack. In the 1950s, a company only had to screen 1,000 soil isolates before they discovered a new antibiotic. By the end of the 1980s, the company had to screen 10 million soil isolates to find a new antibiotic. Instead of coming up with new tools to better mine for medicine, companies simply screened more samples until they discovered that playing the lottery was not a sustainable business model. So what we've done is make what they're looking for a little bit easier to find. And like all great ideas, ours started in the basement. For years, we scoured old and new manuscripts seeking the holy grail of drug discovery, the ability to talk to bacteria. And we found a clue in a paper nearly 30 years old, which mentioned what was in effect a molecular key that could unlock antibiotic production in soil bacteria. And as we dug deeper, we found that 30 years later, only 14 of these keys had been discovered, but none of them commercialized. So using our experience as chemists, we began to craft unique keys with immediate market applications that no one else had. Where others saw worthless dirt, we saw buried treasure. Some have said that the soil beneath our feet has been all mined out, but that could not be farther from the truth. The reality is, by failing to innovate, the pharmaceutical company has trapped itself within this small circle, only able to access 10% of an organism's true medicinal potential. 90% of the new medicines out there are locked within these organisms' DNA. So how does that old saying go? You have to think outside the circle? Well, that's exactly what we did. We crafted the keys that give us exclusive access to these medicines. And they work. Here is an organism that, when taken from its natural environment, does not produce an antibiotic. We know it can. Our keys unlock this organism's full potential and restore antibiotic production. This is the foundation of our platform, and the effects of this are massive, because organisms once thought worthless are now made valuable. Pharmaceutical companies have hundreds of thousands of organisms just like this, with new medicines locked within them, sitting in freezers. And we're going to be the only ones selling the keys. Last year, an antibiotic discovery platform akin to our keys was licensed for up to $142 million in total milestone payouts. But the real value lies within these chests in the form of novel antibiotic leads. And we're going to be unlocking these chests faster than anyone else. Our company started in our parents' basement years ago. Our first lab was built with donations from the local dumpster. And using what little money we had, but a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, we proved we could chemically synthesize molecular keys that no one else could. And within 60 days of arriving at the IndieBio program, we proved these keys work in unlocking antibiotic production. This is the foundation of our first patent and our platform, which we seek to license within the year for upfront cash. Within 3 years, we hope to run drug discovery projects of our own, in-house, unlocking the new medicines within these chests. We hope to usher in the second golden age of antibiotic discovery and ultimately avoid returning to our parents' basement. We are seeking an investment of $350,000 in order to expand our library of chemical keys, secure 2 additional patents in the first quarter of 2016, and commercialize our platform. For 4 billion years, the microbes in the dirt beneath our feet have been designing and producing some of the most potent and important medicines known to humankind. But our company does not seek to re-engineer life. We seek to unlock its full potential. Thank you.